Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. This is IPCPR recap day 2. Tuesday, second day of the show. Kind of getting a feel for how everything's going. People hitting Vegas a little hard and starting slow in the morning on day 2. So kind of to be expected and normal operating procedure for the show. So we're going to talk about what we're getting into smoking wise.
Yeah. So I'm Jiunn, as always.
Oh yeah. I mean, we got to introduce each other. I didn't even say my name, did I?
Oh, okay. No, you didn't.
All right. Aaron, Jiunn, the same guy as every time. You know.
It's nice to be heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, what did you like smoking today?
My cigar of the day is the Pier 28, and that's an Espinosa product from Tim Wong, who's kind of a West Coast representation for Espinosa. Fantastic cigar. My palate wasn't really working very well yesterday, but today it's back. So now I'm just tasting the cigar. So that was a highlight for me, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you on the whole palate thing. Yesterday I drank like 90 ounces of water. I was like pounding water, and a little bit of headache the entire day, and my palate was just always dried up, and everything just tasted, for lack of a better word, ashy and really sharp. But today I felt a lot better. I felt like I regained my palate by drinking half the amount of water as well.
Right.
But no, I totally hear you on the Pier 28. It's awesome that Tim Wong finally came out with this cigar. It's been in the works for years.
Yep.
It's bold spice, but with this harmonious blend of sweetness and earthiness, minerality, and we'll get that reviewed for you guys down the road. But that was definitely a highlight for me.
Mm-hmm.
Another highlight for me was I received from Noel Rojas his new Guayacan Mexican San Andreas Maduro, and that was really good. Just typical Maduro that's, a lot of body, sweetness and fruit notes. It was just tasty, given the fact that he was literally putting on bands when we saw him yesterday.
Right. Yeah.
So, what else did we smoke today?
What you wrapped up the day with?
Yeah, so I wrapped up the day with the
protocol probable cause.
Yes, from Cubara Kenyo.
Yep.
I was having a hard time saying that.
You got it, man. You got it.
But I smoked there. I believe that what they deem as the short shelf version.
Yep.
Mexican San Andreas. So, given the sea of Mexican San Andreas out there, it is definitely top notch. It is definitely really high up there on the list for me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to unfortunately smoke all of it because when you walk out of the show, there's all these huge sticky ashtrays, and and the security people tell you to drop it. So I didn't get to smoke the last third, but we have more samples, luckily.
Yes.
And looking forward to smoking a full version of that.
Yeah, I try not to smoke that much during the show, just because you're going into different people's booths, and it's tough to, some people want to hand you a cigar and they want you to smoke it, but I want to be able to give my full attention to it, and we're talking the whole time, so the cigars go out and stuff like that. So other than the Pier 28, we had to smoke that Focus because we were sitting down for a while.
Right.
At one point, having a conversation that we'll talk about a little later, but that worked out. We were really able to focus on the cigar while we were having that conversation, sitting down and not walking around meeting different people. So that was good.
Yeah. So let's just go through and let's talk about the highlights of the day.
All right.
And then, you can talk about it and I'll chime in and we'll do that.
So down the list, right?
Yep.
So we started off with Zycar this morning.
Yep.
Got to get a tour of all their new stuff. I think probably the thing that's gotten the most attention going in was the new XO cutter. It's the round cutter. It's pretty slick because the way that the blades work is that they're on a gear mechanism. So when you squeeze it, both sides come in synchronized. So it's not like you're squeezing in, and whichever side you squeeze firmer is the one that goes in further, which on some type of guillotine cutters that can be an issue. So makes it really nice. Jiunn almost cut his finger off cutting a cigar with it because it was so sharp, and so
no, it's super mechanical. I love that. It's almost like, so most of you guys, vast majority of the population uses their the guillotine cutter, like the XI 1, 2, or 3.
Right.
But with this XO cutter, it just mechanically just snaps and just a full swoop, easy motion. And I cut a cigar with it, and it was absolutely effortless.
Right.
So whether that be a function of new blades versus my XI2 that's been like 7 years, but still sharp.
Yep.
So It's so that one's retail for I think $100 a
Mhm.
piece. It's steep, but at the end of the day, it works great. You got the Zycar guarantee for life, as long as you're not an idiot and lose it.
Yep.
So looks good. And also with the Zycar, the other new thing that they're focusing on, one of the new things anyways, they're coming out with these single jet lighters.
Mhm.
That's kind of mimicking under the kind of like the ST DuPont style, the luxurious car Lamborghini style of
Right.
light. So color wise, and just the lighter feel and look is very sleek.
Mhm.
It's almost like a very fluid race car look. So
Yep.
that was interesting, and that was cool to see Zycar kind of enter into that sport lighter kind of a
Right.
arena.
And they have a lot of new finishes and different styles for the cutters and things like that. One of the ones that caught my attention was the rose gold one. They have a lighter end cutter kind of in that fashion. Very heavyweight. Has that rose gold color to it. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's fancy. It's nice, but it's not like over the top, like crazy. Like it's like straight gold. And, I don't know. It just, I think it looks nice. So that was kind of cool. And then they got the cigar locker. So it's kind of it's a cigar case, but it contains a smaller version of their ashtray, like the can ashtray. It also has a cutter lighter in the box, right? And then they also teamed up with Romocraft. They created the monolith for them. It's kind of the similar type function, but the monolith is really branded for Romocraft. But the cigar locker is the name for the kind of
And that cigar locker, some of the best inventions out there is just for everyday use that just works.
Right.
And within a locker, you have that ashtray, your cutter, your lighter,
and then room for
your
cigars.
room for cigars.
Yeah.
So it's an all-inclusive thing, and it's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, you just throw your cigars in it, head out with it, and you have all your stuff. So you have your cutter and lighter in there and your ashtray. So you're all set up for a day of herfing or whatever's going on. So or take it to the beach, take it to the park, whatever you're doing. You got your whole setup all in that one box, which is pretty cool. Does that car stuff it? I mean, they have a ton of stuff.
Yeah,
so,
they do. And it's, I would say, aside from those things that we talked about, the other ones that came out, they're just kind of utilizing their pre-existing accessories, such as the XI 1, 2, and 3,
right.
and making it unique. Whether it be, putting different plates on XI 2 and 3s and 1s, and things of that nature. So overall, I mean, it's still very Zycar. It's a nice, perhaps a nice refresh and getting into that, sports car sleekness arena, kind of taking a little aim at the ST DuPonts and the really high premium guys.
Right.
But it looked sharp, it looked good.
Yeah, and they're expanding out the black blades on a lot of the cutters.
Right.
So that was another kind of new thing for them. So after that, we hit up the Selected Tobacco booth. I think we mentioned them yesterday, the new buyer they're coming out with. But the main reason that we went there was to talk to Leticia, who we met with last year. Because Jiunn had a cigar that he wanted her to taste. Now, her background, she's Cuban. She's from Cuba. She lives in Cuba. But she won the cigar sommelier or cigar tasting contest over there and has an amazing palate. So Jiunn had a cigar that he wanted her to try to see if she'd pick out kind of tobaccos and countries and farms and stuff like that.
Yeah, I brought her basically a Cuban custom roll. And I'm not going to disclose which one it is for the general public, but I mainly wanted to see what her palate gave on that. And she just depicted, I mean, we're talking the leaf, the country of origin, and she's just, it's amazing to see her taste.
Right.
It's amazing to see her anything from the start of taking out a little bit of the tobacco out of the cap, kind of looking at it, chewing on it, and then of course the lining of it, and then just the aroma of the smoke to the actual retrohale, the actual drop experience. It's almost like almost have a little crush on her. So
so that was a highlight definitely for us. Next we hit up Altadis. They have a few new releases out. The Microsto Pilotico. So that's a big one that they're pushing. So special seed, really nice box. It's just nice presentation.
Yeah, it's kind of Monte Cristo being one of Altadis, or perhaps the Altadis flagship brand. They always come out with something that tries to kind of wow the crowd. And in typical Altadis fashion, with beautiful presentation, they did exactly that, I felt like. And when we were talking to the rep, the Pilotico, the leaf of that is apparently very difficult to grow. The leaves do not yield much, and the leaves are fairly small when it's yielded. But it seems like that's going to be a big ticket item.
Yep. Another Monte Cristo was the Artisan series, and what they're doing with that is they're utilizing their Grupo de Maestros for the series, where they're kind of breaking up into teams and creating various blends. And what was one of the neat things is on the box, they actually disclose who the buncher is, who the roller is, and then which of the maestros were on the blending of the cigar. So that's a kind of unique touch to that.
I love that. I love the fact that anytime when a manufacturer provides more information about the actual cigar and the actual bunching rolling process, I'm all for it. So I think that's a great move.
Yeah. And then a couple of Romeo and Julieta's, the Reserve Rare 11. That cigar was already sold out by the time we got to the booth. It just went real quick for them. And basically the story behind that is cigars that were in the aging room for 11 years. So tobaccos that were already older than that when they were rolled. So quite a bit of time on that. 11 cigars in a box, and it was $11 was the price point, right? It was 11 across the board. So, you know, somebody bought them, so to find out who has them and see if you can buy them.
Go hound your B&M and go smoke one.
Exactly. And then the Romeo Nicaragua 505.
Right.
So that's kind of their she touted it as like a super punchy, strong.
It's kind of like that perhaps for lack of a better word, a bad boy rebel side of the company, and just the bolder brand of it to compete with perhaps some of the Camacho stuff out and the power band and the boldness behind that and that marketing, and perhaps even the boldness of the new Tarano coming out in that kind of a package going. So
so after that we hit up Danny Vasquez, who has a new cigar out called The Voyage. So he's just really starting out. He's one of the guys that's behind the SaveLeaf.org movement. They're doing the march in Washington on August 8th. So really two stories that we were kind of chatting with him about was coming to market with a cigar at this time, and then his kind of help with the organization of that movement. So really good cause. Hit the website SaveLeaf.org. Check out the whole movement, and if you're kind of in the DC area around that time, I'd say definitely go out and help those guys out. It's a big herf. Also, doing a march kind of to try to gain some exposure for kind of what the FDA was trying to bring down on the cigar industry. So
he was a real cool guy. He was really easy to talk to.
Yeah.
He's like one of those dudes you meet at a B&M you could like BS with for hours.
Yeah.
So it was cool to talk to him.
Yep. Ventura Cigar, they did a media event today. They're releasing a new cigar called the Archetype. There's 5 blends there. 3 of those are from Davidoff and 2 are from Drew Estate. So there's a whole story behind that. I won't go into it. It's it's pretty interesting, but definitely you could check out their site if you want the whole story behind it. But each cigar kind of plays a role in the concept. So check that out. And one of the other interesting things that they are doing, I didn't know about before this actual session, was that they have come out with the Cycle 7 Connecticut. So Cycle 7 has been out for a few years, but now they have the Connecticut version. So something I'm kind of interested to try, just to see how the Connecticut wrapper plays with that blend.
And also, my favorite part of the presentation was, of course, their cigars.
Right.
But as a part of giving out the media, they provided samples of Pappy Van Winkle Lot B, which is a 12-year-old bourbon. Highly, highly sought after. But they let us taste some of that.
Right.
And it's always a treat because if you want to buy a bottle of that in the secondary market, which is typical, you could only find it.
Right.
For the most part, it's like $500 bottle of whiskey. So
exactly.
So that was a treat.
And then they also have the case study. So that's a bunch of different blends a bunch of different manufacturers. Like I said, Davidoff, Casada,
True
True
State.
State,
Yeah.
some of those things. So it's very secretive in regards to what the blends are, but you know, it's an interesting concept in what they're doing. So just another cigar that they're coming out with.
Sorry.
Rookie in Vegas. What are you gonna do?
That's some strong vodka water, I tell you.
Next, then we hit up the general booth and we talked to Jack Tarano. We're repping Tarano now. He's back. The Tarano Exodus is the kind of the big thing for the show. They had some of the other Tarano brands that were really started earlier in the year, but the Exodus, I think, is the big push right now for the show. Jack's a fantastic guy, super cool to talk to. I don't know, man. He's funny.
Keeps it real.
Yeah. So it's a good time talking to Jack. So
it's unfortunate actually, being at General Cigar, their booth, that we didn't get to see the rest of it.
Right.
We had a little bit of a hiccup on
timing
and whatnot. So hopefully, we'll get that squared out the next couple of days and bring the rest of that coverage.
Exactly. Then we went over to see Jose Blanco and Emma. Talked about their new line extensions for both of their cigar lines. So for the Señorial Maduro, there's a new box pressed version. Is it a Toro box press? Or it's like a 5.5 by.
Well, yeah, perhaps like more of a Robusto Extra, Toro-ish.
Okay.
So.
And then for Emma, she has a similar type of configuration. For the Freya is a box press, kind of 5.5 by something.
Yeah, it was cool to see Jose. I know Jose from a couple of the Wood Embargo shows that I do with Seth guys. So it was cool to see him.
Yeah, so that went well. Then we hit up the Davidoff booth and then talked to the people over at ST DuPont.
Yes.
And that was really interesting. We got a nice tour of the products, very high end, a lot of quality craftsmanship, very artisanal. They kind of went through like they're using artists to kind of produce some various products and things like that. So very intricate work. Looks good, but there's the cost of that. I mean, as everybody knows, it's familiar with ST DuPont, but some really neat stuff that's coming out from them.
I mean, all I can say about what we saw over there was just pure luxurious art. One of a kind, handmade. I mean, we're talking lighters that they're selling for like 45 grand on some of this stuff. So it was cool to actually see it showcased. Yeah,
they have this one that's like really mechanical that is supposed to actually arrive at the show tomorrow, but they were able to show some pictures of it where, you know, you have to unlock the lid by putting in like almost like a safe combination type thing, and then it pops open and you can light it, and then you can adjust the flame height. And then you can also flip the switch to go from soft flame to torch. So it was pretty slick, like all the, you know, kind of all the mechanisms and craftsmanship that went into that. So we're definitely going to go back to see the physical product.
And we took some great pictures. Aaron took some wonderful pictures of it. So we'll post that up after we get back from Vegas.
And then kind of getting towards the end of the day, we were talking to the guys over at Cigar Dojo, and they gave Santana from DeCrossier Cigar of the Year for was it 512 Lancero, or was one of the lines from the selection on 512?
Yeah.
So we all kind of went over there with the Dojo guys in Coop, and got to see him do the presentation, and we all kind of just snapped some pictures, kind of doing a bit of fanfare for that, and I think it was pretty cool. I mean, Santana was was really cool about it.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. So it was a big deal. I thought it was kind of like a cool
and the actual trophy that the award that Dojo gave to Santana. I mean, we're talking like this isn't some hey, good job participation award bullshit. It's legit. It's like big glass.
It was a nice,
inked in, congrats and all that good stuff.
So. It was pretty slick. Then we hit up El Artista, and you may have heard of them from the Exactus brand. The Puro Amber was another release they had a year or two ago. But this year they have two new lines. One is the Big Poppy, and that's the cigar for David Ortiz. And basically, this is a cigar that they were making for him already, kind of as a personal blend that he would, I guess, I don't know, hand out at parties or get-togethers and things like that. So now they're actually bringing it to market. So I'm a huge baseball fan, so it was something I was interested in. So it's something I'm looking forward to. We're going to do a review on that as well.
I think it's cool to see. So at the trade show, the kind of like the wave of using sports celebrities to have their own line of cigars. I mean, it's just not that. It's also Ray Lewis,
Gary Sheffield,
and Gary Sheffield at
both
at Rocky. I mean, they're there.
Yeah.
And there's a very distinct sign that says, "Don't take any freaking pictures."
Right. Exactly.
So it was cool to see all that. Like, see a bunch of, you go to a cigar show and it's like you see celebrities.
Yeah. And the price point's $11, which is lower than I think most of the other typical celebrity version cigars are. So I think the price point is pretty attractive. So if you're a baseball fan, I mean, I know some people being him being a Red Sox player can be pretty contrasting with some people that are Yankee fans or people that don't like the Red Sox or whatever. But if you're just a baseball fan, I think it's definitely something to probably check out. See, they also have another one called the Palates. So that one's another one that we'll get a chance to smoke down the road. We'll get some samples later on to do a review on that.
I mean, both of those cigars, I just remember looking at the wrappers and it looks nice. Presentation wise, cigar wrapper wise. So looking forward to those.
Yeah. Then we hit up Omar over at Fratello. He's got the Fratello Oro coming out. So that is a Connecticut wrap cigar. So I'm a big fan of Omar cigars. So far, everything he's done, I've really liked. So this is definitely another cigar I'm looking forward to from Omar. So,
yeah, I mean, he just blends to my palate. I mean, it's just all about the flavor, complexities, and balance. And definitely looking forward to this release.
Yep. And he's a cool guy. So we've gotten a chance to hang out with him at our local shop.
Yep.
So he's a really nice guy. So, definitely check that out if you get a chance. We kind of wrapped up the day with the guys at Cuba Premio. So talking to Juan and Bill.
Yep.
They have the Protocol Lancero. We're big fans of the Protocol original release. There was a Toro and a Robusto there. But the Lancero has gotten rave reviews so far. So we fully expect it to, surpass the previous releases. Also, Probable Cause, which you talked about smoking earlier. Yep. So we'll have a review for that as well coming out. And then something we did earlier in the day, but I want to leave it for last because I think it was probably a good topic and one that we might expand on a little bit was we had to go to the Espinosa booth and we sat down with Hector Alfonso, who's one of
the master blenders for La Zona.
Fantastic guy. Yeah. We sat down with him for an hour. I think we were expecting maybe spend like 15, 20 minutes with him.
Right.
But the conversation was just going so good that we just, we kind of just kept going and really just talked about blending, tobacco, how the whole Espinosa group works, Zona stuff. It was just really informative. So it was a chance for us to geek out with a guy that's hands and knees and feet dirty into the tobacco. Right. So
and it was cool. The only reason, the reason why we got to talk to him was Seth guys at Seth Humidor. Seth Geese guys, whatever.
Formerly of Seth Humidor.
Yes, formerly
Cigar Federation.
Yeah, big tuna on Wanamargo. He got that lead for us, and it was awesome. I absolutely enjoyed it. I look forward to talking more with Hector. In addition to what you said, Aaron, or what we talked about, I asked him some questions about just in general, how could I be a smarter smoker? How could I be a better, perhaps, cigar reviewer? And then his take on that. And it was just full information. It felt comfortable. This guy is not. He's a straight shooter, right? Like he's a man's man, a gentleman, and he's incredibly humble. And I love that, and definitely look forward to getting to know more about him and learning more about how to develop my own palate support.
Yeah, so fantastic time with him. I mean, he's already done some interviews like on Jukebox. I'm assuming he's been on Stogie Geeks and Dojo as well. So if you get a chance, check out those podcasts. You'll get a feel for his knowledge and passion for tobacco. So it's it was a great time. I really enjoyed it.
Anything else?
Not for me.
So overall, I would say today was a more structured day than yesterday.
Right.
We had, made I think like 3 or 4 appointments.
Yep.
So it wasn't as free flowing, perhaps.
Yeah.
And I like the free flowing. I like to just kind of pop in there and
Right.
and see what's going on, and to the extent that they're not customers,
Yeah.
we would love to talk to them.
Yeah. Typically, we enjoy structure for everything else that we do.
Right.
But at the show, it's reversed. Structure sometimes screws up the schedule because you have an appointment and then you have like a 30-minute gap in between another appointment. So you're like, who can I see? But if I see them and the conversation's good,
Right.
I have to like tell them I have to stop because we have to get out of there to go. So yeah, at the show, structure is sometimes not our friend.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
But overall, I had a great day.
Yeah.
I look forward to. There's so much more to cover,
Right.
and there's absolutely no way we could cover everything.
Yeah.
But I look forward to tomorrow and hitting up more guys, and seeing new faces and old faces alike, and saying hi and checking out what's new and what's going on.
Exactly. So we'll be doing a full video recap and doing some write-ups and stuff like that after the show ends, but we're going to continue to do these end-of-day recaps. So tomorrow we'll do day 3 recap, and then Thursday is kind of a half day, but we'll still do a recap after that with what we did. So thanks for checking it out. If you're just checking this out on YouTube, subscribe to us here, but also hit the website, developingpalates.com. Follow us on all the social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+. Anything else I'm missing?
Thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys, visiting us and following us and all that good stuff. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And looking forward to bringing you the recap for tomorrow as well. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
See ya.